And they will try to delay, the operations that you've got to have. You can't get away from it. You don't particularly want to have it done. But, I said to her, look, Karen, I know my own body best. Trust me. I said, I don't care what the test results say because I went through all of this 10 years ago. So when you do feel it's shitty, she said, I think quite honestly, a lot of the problems that you have got with the kidney and feeling so ill is because of the amount of stress that you're under. And that part I do agree with. But even so, when suddenly your kidney can fail, like 3 months ago, you've got to be prepared for it. And you can't escape these operations. You might know that one. So you're better off getting them over and done with so that if the worst does happen and you've got to go onto a machine, you get it done. But at the moment, she's reluctant to start discussing any form of fistula. And it's really against how I feel about it. I think, this has got to be done, whether you like it or whether you don't. And I said to Ed this morning, I said, it's funny, since I had the operation done on the arm, going back 6-8 months ago, the left arm has swelled up to the point I can no longer wear a watch. Now, I don't know why that should be, but it has. But the healthcare side, we keep hearing all this old shit from Cameron about the NHS system, but we don't have an NHS system. We've got a partial system which doesn't work. We've got a lot of blind, stupid people in this country who write to the newspapers saying about our excellent NHS system. Well, obviously they've never dealt with it. Because the reality is, whichever department you're at, take, for example, I've got to go to Cosham Hospital, and this is for the breathing, but my appointment has been made for May. What's the bloody point in having an appointment in May? There's meant to be government guidelines on choosing your hospital where you get your treatment. It doesn't apply.
No, some of them don't.
No, it's all a lie. It's a huge bloody lie within the NHS. And as I discovered the other day with the mental health side, there's always dozens of people to tell you that there isn't anything available for you. And then I turn around and say, well, excuse me, what do you do? And she's a consultant. And you say, okay, so why are you still there? And they don't quite comprehend that question. You say, well, if you're telling me that you're trained, there's nothing you can do for me, why are you drawing a salary? Now, they find that is offensive when you ask that question. But it's an honest question.
Yeah, I asked it as well.
It's an honest question. This is what you claim to be. Why are you drawing this salary? And, I think with the NHS, they've been trying to privatise it for so long. I think we've had successive governments, whether it be Labour, Conservative, whoever, for the past 30 years, who have gradually tried to mould the NHS to the direction that it can no longer function. And this particular government just wants us to have everything privatised. And with Cameron, that is one of the things he will do. He wants to get rid of the NHS. But my God, what is it going to be like in 5 years' time with the immigration coming over here? Because if you consider that the vast majority of the young men that are coming here are fit and able.
That's what figures said, 70% of them are.
Yeah. The young women that are going to come here, they're going to fall pregnant, they're going to need resources. The young, the 3,000 immigrant children, I feel very sorry for children from Syria, I genuinely do. But when you think about it, if they're 12 years old now, in 5 years' time, they're going to be 17. They're going to need homes, they're going to need support, resources.
John, they're going to go to university.
Oh, please. We can't even get our own to university.
We can, as long as they pay.
As long as they pay. Yes, exactly. But they're not paying, as Brian just said.
No. You heard that?
Well, just about.
Every other country charges the medical bills, except England.
Well, they should be. They should be, but we seem to have lost grip. And we've lost grip ever since Cameron's been in power. Now, I don't understand how he is still remaining in power. You know, he's meant to be here till 2020. Who, in our democratic society, said that any government can stay in power for 5 years because it never used to be the case? When you voted in the general election, Rose, it used to be 3 years, didn't it?
Yeah.
But now it's 5 years. Why?
I don't know.
Ah, well, nobody asked the question. Why have we suddenly gone from 3 years to almost double the time when we're in a democracy?
Why can we vote against something that still gets passed?
Precisely. And why is it the laws that we've got now are being totally ignored by our own Prime Minister?
Yeah.
This is why this Conservative Party, you know, him next door, he's kept a very low profile here. We're cordial, we speak, we say good morning when we see each other. But to be honest with you, since that day, when he found out I was not a supporter of the Conservative Party, you rarely see him at all now. You know, he was at one point, you know, quite chirpy to call out, but if you don't agree with his politics, then, you know, and I'm afraid I don't agree with his politics. I'm not political anyway in that respect, because I think no matter who's in power, they're a waste of time. Because I tend to go along the principle that we live in a democracy, and if we truly lived in a democracy, we wouldn't be in the shithole that we're in now. Not with Europe and not with the government. But for some people, like with Mike, for example, and him next door, they follow blindly because they've always voted that way. And, you know, it's strange for some people, you know, they can't accept other people's views. So I think we're very fragmented as a country now, Rose. I honestly do. You're burping away there, like an old geezer.
I know, I'm just having me cup of tea and it's burping. And Thomas is grumping.
You've had this for, well, he wants to go walkies, does he?
Oh, yes. Wait a minute.
You've had this burping for weeks and weeks now. Yes, I can hear him.
Yeah. He's talking to me now.
Ah.
Really? Oh, okay.
Well, you better take him for his walk.
Honest? He is funny.
He is. Well, I will catch you later, Rose. I'll go and start my mashed potato.
Okay.
Have a good day.
I will.
Bye.
Bye.
That dog of hers seems to have a will of its own.